I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think everybody that's going to be here is here. Is there any additions or deletions to the night's council meeting? Hearing nothing, we'll move on. Is there a motion to approve the September 23rd, 2024 council meeting minutes?
I move to approve the September 23rd, 2024 council meeting minutes.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second. John beat me.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Moving on to reports. Councilman Moulton.
Well, we had our Fall Fest. It went off very well. I'm not exactly on the quantity we raised, but we'll know here soon enough.
Okay.
We're moving on to Trunk or Treat, October 25th. Going to have the parade, carnival at the rec center, just like we have every year.
Mm-hmm.
We also had our second business after hours last week, and we had double the attendance. So
Good. Good.
outside of that, that's it.
Councilwoman Nunn.
Oh, yes. Landfill had our September meeting that was scheduled on the third Thursday, on the fourth Thursday, as we didn't have a quorum at that Thursday. Such interesting things happen on board. So anyway, meetings are open to the public on the fourth Thursday, 5:30 at the library in September. We approved a contract for a gatehouse. This is being a very interesting experience. We've kicked it around for a long time, and I'm not sure that we're going the best direction, but I guess we're going. We do need to have that established before the weather gets too nasty. We're also in the process of buying more roller bins to expand our capacity. The Greens area has had a very positive summer. They have grown and distributed garden products to the community. A future plan is to possibly build a greenhouse that could extend the growing season for food. We're also investigating purchasing a log splitter so we can split and stock fire use for use in our community. I really hope that gets done. That'd be very handy. Happy Fall, like John said. Glen Rock has had a Happy Fall festival, including some very good barbecue meat in the town of Glen Rock. They gave out a very generous serving of their meat and beans. Congratulations to the Elevate people for organizing and hosting that activity. That's not easy to do. Good for you. Very good. Also was great Wyoming fall weather for homecoming. That doesn't always happen in Wyoming. The Dutchman Solar Project, this project just outside Rolling Hills, is in the process of getting started. Their plan, I thought this was really interesting. Their plan is put the light switch on and the lights will come on. They are scheduled to be located on 4,000-acre site just off Highway 55. Their goal is to start construction in May of 2026 with a completion date of July of 2028. They did discover that an old portion of the Oregon Trail runs across the property, and they are honoring and respecting that historical site. So thanks so much for that. And Mr. Mayor, I have two questions, if I may ask, please. The first one was, I was wondering, that beautiful new walking path that comes out of Oregon Trails down there, why the two pieces weren't hooked together. It's a very small connecting piece that wasn't put in. Did they run out of cement?
Cost to cross that and not create a problem with stormwater right there over to the corner and on the far side of Bridgers Crossing. The amount to come up there and do that right, since it wasn't part of the bid, they'd have charged us more to do that section than they did to do the whole thing because they had to pull it out once. So we told them to stop where it was at. We can work on that later.
So you do think at some time maybe we can get that?
Possibly.
We're going to get that ironed out and put in. Okay, and then just as a point of information, we're getting a lot of tree grants, which I think is great. Are these grants, I thought these grants were for removal of dangerous trees,
For trimming and removal.
for
of
trimming
trees.
and for removal?
Mhm.
Well, I guess we're going to have half the trees at Glen Rock coming our way, because at least that many need trimmed. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Kincaid.
Just went down to Fall Fest. It's getting to be a lot of fun down there. All the food and all the teams and lots of people. Attended the district school board candidates. Get to know and questions. Thanks, John, for putting that on for all of you.
She makes us look good. I don't know what.
That was really good. A lot of good candidates. They were up on their homework, most all of them, and got some good candidates coming up. So, other than that, I'm going to attend the National Honor Society inductees tonight after we get done here. That's it. That's all I got.
Councilwoman Collins.
Well, it sounds like a lot of us went to the food festival down in the park, and we all had a really good time. And so just thank you to everybody involved in pulling that off. That was great. I also attended the business after hours, and there was a really nice presentation done by Edith Allen about dry cleaning processes, and then also how he redid his home, which is there on the corner.
cool.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it was a very good business after hours, and there was a lot of just talking and networking and all. I really enjoyed that. Went to the Dutchman solar farm meeting with Margaret, and I think she hit on all the pertinent points. I attended the Municipal and County Joint Powers Board on October 2nd. The things that they ask us to share is that the health department is starting their flu and COVID shots. The dates that they gave me at that meeting have already passed, so I don't know when the next sets will be, but if you visit their website or call Public Health, they will be able to give you the dates, and they're doing them both here in Glen Rock and in Douglas. They've got a public health nurse up and running here in Glen Rock now. They talked briefly about the Labonte fire. The total cost for fighting that fire was a little over $5 million to fight that particular fire. The majority of that cost was the aircraft that were required for that. Let's see, the sheriff asked that we share with the public that they're still having a lot of frauds, particularly over the telephone, where people are receiving calls saying it's the sheriff's department and telling you either that they have you listed as a sex offender and you need to give them some money, or that you didn't make it for a jury trial, that you were and you owe them some money, and that's not how they do it. If they want you, they're going to come get you. They're not going to call you on the phone. He did say that if you look at your caller ID, it does say the Commerce County Sheriff's Department, so don't go by that. Hang up on them and call the Sheriff's Department back. Again, please lock the doors of your vehicles. They don't drive themselves off that way. It's also against the law to leave your vehicle running and unattended, and it's a little difficult to call and say someone stole my car when in fact you handed it over to them. We have here in Converse County had a few issues with Cuban organized crime. Particularly, it's diesel thefts, and they're stealing whole semi-trailers of diesel. So, and they put out that they are looking for volunteers for search and rescue. And I think that was everything at that meeting. Then one other thing, just want to let everybody know that next Monday, October 21st, from 4:30 to 6, our local community churches are putting together a chili and cinnamon roll dinner for Ukraine relief. This is headed up by the Community Baptist Church. It will be at the Commerce County Library Community Room. Again, that's from 4:30 to 6. The different churches bring all kinds of different chilies and cinnamon rolls and cornbread, that sort of thing. The cost is simply a donation, whatever you would like to give toward Ukrainian relief, and they just hope to see as many people as possible there. And I think that's all I have.
Kelly, treasurer, part-time clerk.
Part-time clerk tonight. The sales tax came in very pleasantly higher. I looked back on the graphs and the charts and historical, and it normally does this month for whatever reason. I'm going to try and drill down on the drivers. It is expected to go back down next month, so we'll take it while we can. And the F-66 is all filed, all that paperwork. Received the final billing from Andreen. We will still have retention. I emailed that to you today. I did want to add it to bills and claims. So good news on that, where I think we're finishing up. And that's about all I have.
Okay. John, Public Works.
Like Kelly said, I think 2nd Street and the part of First that we did is about done. We just have to do a little bit of walkthrough, make sure everything's in order. I do apologize for Birch and that part of 9th and Keller. That is quite the mess, but they have told us that they are projected to be paving by the end of the month. Crown's trying to be done with all their water taps and everything by the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. I would like to say that thank you for Town Hall staff, Public Works staff, the engineering staff for helping us gather enough information for the lead and copper that we have to turn in, the inventory that we have to turn in TPA. I think we've got that and we've submitted it, so I think that's kind of in that stage. I'm sure it'll be ongoing, but at least we've made the submission now. Other than that, we've been working on just our normal chores and preparing for winter because I know it's coming. Thank you.
Wow, Building Inspector.
Evening, Mayor and Council. 113 building permits to date. Roofing's still going on. Just did get the application today for the senior center to be building that ramp between the Barber Apartments, and that's going to happen. And it's a pretty major project, really. So just got that today. Eastgate's still going on. Golf course is still in the works. We do need to have our next discussion, I guess, in the work session about RVs that are currently in the mobile home zone. So that'll just be coming up at our next work session. Talked to Councilwoman Nunn last week. She asked me to give a little update on the Strategic Planning Committee, what we've been doing lately. So Coulter, Grace, Main Street, Kim, from Elevate, myself, we have went and we've been looking at some museums lately, just gathering ideas, focusing on what a new museum would look like. So combining the Paleon with Deer Creek. We have met with Stewart and the guy from Morrison, the curator of the Morrison Museum. Got a lot of questions and answers, or mainly questions from them, what we'd need. We went and visited with the Trail Center in Casper, walked through that with the curator and the director. That's a really very nice facility, but a lot of good information. We went to the Tate Museum in Casper. They got a full-size mammoth. If you walk in there, that mammoth came out of our backyard at the Alamans. So if we would have had a facility, we'd have probably had that. Went to the Dinosaur Museum in Thermop. They got a long neck there named Jimbo. That's pretty incredible. And that came out of Douglas. So when you look at that, you're like, oh, it's just sad, but beautiful. It's pretty cool. A lot of good information there. Then we went to the Hot Springs County Museum there in Vermont just to check it out, and it's really a Deer Creek museum, but it's a lot bigger and got a lot of great ideas on how you can incorporate some of that into a museum. Then we went to Fremont County and Lander. Great building, really nice building. They built a village around it of historical buildings from around the whole county, so they brought them in and resurrected them and refurbished them, and really kind of a neat place to walk around. So a lot of great questions, and there's a lot of good information. So that's where we're at, and got a nice group. We're pretty motivated, so that's where we're at.
Thanks, Lyle.
Chevy.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This week we do have the UW tailgate coming this Saturday. So that tailgate will start off at 12 p.m. and then kickoff is at 2 p.m. So working on getting stuff ready for that. As a square, we are going to be offering free popcorn, hot chocolate, and Dippin' Dots, as long as with the UNOYO, they're going to be bringing some games and activities to do, and the Lions Club will be down there also cooking as well. And then just offering my help wherever is needed for Halloween, for anything for the town square, be available for that. And completed both half of my certifications for the pool and servicing of the pool, so trying to brush up on my pool skills there. And working on getting the door fixed for the LED wall and a new locking computer interfacing program. And then just working on plans for next year, training for my staff for next year, just kind of going through these certifications. I can see things that we can do better, especially on the splash pad side, and getting my staff up to that code would be great. So,
Hey, congratulations on that certification. Good job.
well, thank you. They're long.
Police Chief Colder.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Just to beat a dead horse here, but Fall Fest, we attended that as well. SRO Pierce and a culinary student, Bailey Mueller, competed in the barbecue contest. They got second in the beans contest, fourth in the brisket contest, and fifth in the pork, giving them a fourth overall. And they were voted second place as the People's Choice. So they were pretty proud of that. Same time, something that people haven't touched on, I guess, was the Demolition Derby. I was able to attend that a little bit by choice, a little bit by work, but it turned out pretty well, I think. I think that went well for a first year event. We're looking forward to next year. Maybe a few little critiques here and there, but it was a well-attended event. Very busy out there, so. We are still working on hiring. I'm going to hold interviews at the end of the month. So far, we've got 5 certified officers who've applied. All 5 look like pretty quality candidates, all interested in coming to the area. So pretty excited for that, but we will still accept applications up until that point. Lastly, I'm going to be leaving Friday and back next Tuesday. I'll be attending the International Association of Chiefs of Police conference. So
Where's that at, Coulter?
Boston.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be cold or hot or never been. So
It's a great place.
yeah, I'll probably be indoors most of the time anyway. So they keep us pretty busy out there with courses they offer. So
Okay. We'll move on to items from the floor. Is there any items from the floor this evening?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As all of you have said, you attended Fall Fest, which was a really great event for us. Not only did we get to provide a nice event, a nice competition, but we also wanted to raise some money for an organization in town that needed it. So we chose the food pantry this year, and we were able to raise $1,724 for them, and we actually brought a check that we'd like to give. him, if that's okay. We can just
That's
keep it in
fine.
here.
Thank you for donating your profits to that.
It's nice.
Great place to spend it.
Ken Young, I'm the director of the food pantry.
So, this is for you guys. Thank you for all you do for the community.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank the council for the donations of produce from the community garden. That was real nice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys, and thank you to the town for all the support you give us, especially during the events. I know it's hard on everybody, so thank you.
If there's nothing else from the items from the floor, we'll move on to, there is no old business, so we'll move on to new business. Let me get to our next item of, there is to approve Fall Fest Parade, DOT, for the Wyoming Department of Transportation Special Application Permit. Is there a motion?
I move we approve this application for the Winterfest Parade.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any questions for Kim or anybody for the event going on? It's pretty self-explanatory. We shut Birch Street down for a period of time, and usually goes well. So
Is that on November 30th?
okay. If there's no more discussion on that, I would call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next one is application for a malt beverage catering permit, Wyoming Cowboy football game on the big screen for 9/19 of 24. Its applicant is Glen Rock Main Street.
10/19.
Well, that's not what's on the paper. We'll change that to 10/19. No worries. But they're just so they can be able to sell some beer and I think wine probably, don't you? Or is it just beer?
Just beer and seltzer.
Seltzers, okay. So, is there a motion?
Can we approve both at once, or we got to do one at a time? Or
We can. I can read the next one is the open container for the same thing. So is there a motion to approve the malt catering permit and the open container?
so moved?
It's been moved. Is it seconded?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
You got the date right on one of them. Yeah.
It happens. Nothing to worry about. So, hearing no other discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Our next order of business is a tree grant application by Kelly Lewis for trimming of a large cottonwood tree that's in their yard that hangs over their yard and the neighbor, and they got a bid and have had the work done. The low bid was $1,500. So
And if you guys do
we
that,
pay
it's fine with me.
Half that.
we pay half of it, so it'd be $750. So is there a motion?
I move we pay $750 on this claim.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just have a question. According to the grant, it's supposed to come to us before the work is done, and the work has already been. Are we gonna reword
Well,
the?
they just got.
I realize that, and I'm not saying that
Yeah,
we should
but well, at the
disapprove it.
time, the reason that they did not apply for it was because we had our last meeting was because of the fact that it stated that under the town it would not. City employees couldn't do that, and we, as a governing body, chose that there was no reason that they can't,
Right.
so.
And I don't have any problem with any of
I-
that or any of the reasoning. I'm just saying that we should maybe add to the motion that we will waive that this time, and then maybe at a work session, we need to even change that, because we all know how difficult it is when the tree starts coming down. It's real hard not to do it. So while I am personally not opposed to the motion, I think we need to acknowledge that we are, in this particular time, waiving it, and then I would suggest that at the next work session, we discuss rewording it for emergency or other kinds of issues. When you get
Yeah,
a
'cause
bid,
we've-
you have to
we've-
get in line and get it done when it's done.
We've had several emergency ones where things have
Right, so
become a problem.
I'm
so.
just making,
Yeah, we can probably work on a little more stuff to add to that grant system, so we kind of get the gray area cleared up, so.
so Margaret, could you reword it, just to acknowledge that we're waiving the requirement that the work not be done?
Just say so moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the word.
Okay,
So moved. Who seconded that?
I think you can say okey dokey.
Roy,
okay, dokey.
And you'll.
And I'll,
It's moved and seconded. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. I believe our next order of business is to pay our bills and claims, and when we make this motion, we're adding Andreen Hunt as additional one for Andreen Hunt's final payment of, what's
much
the
was it?
total on that?
$435,752.
Okay, so is there a motion to pay our bills and claims plus Andreen Hunt's final bill?
yeah, I move we pay our bills and adding on Andrea and Hunt.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on our bills and claims? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Is there anything else to come before this council meeting this evening? Either from council or the gallery or department heads? If not, I would ask for somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn the meeting for very good reasons. I'm hungry.
Yeah. There's a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay.